It's time to find out what all the fuss is about with this Halloween campaign. If you would take this quest, there is only one man who knows the way to the evil place. He alone can tell you how to get to the wood where the ancient evil once lived. He made the journey once before, and now he's dead, buried in the ancient graveyard. A voice speaks up from the back of the crowd. The patron, who clearly doesn't like her very much, says, "That's Golbor. She's a traveling costumer here for Halloween. Golbor, are you offering to help our would-be heroes?" She says, "I ain't got much left. Today being Halloween, I'm mostly sold out by now. But I'll see what I've got that might fit ya." The last one that she has that's going to fit you is a clown costume. And we are not talking an evil Halloween clown. We're talking the last costume she has available is more like cheap party Halloween clown costume. The only costume that she has left that fits you is a big cute teddy bear. I found this picture, which I thought might kind of look like the costume that Noggle Noggins is wearing. So you pour out the bottle of oil on the grave. It sinks rapidly into the ground like it's being inhaled by the earth. In fact, you hear something like someone drawing breath in, long and slow and deep. A moment later, the oil begins to sizzle, vaporizing into a cloud of light mist. In that mist, you can vaguely see a shape of a person, a woman. She appears to be elf. And she says, "I knew thou wouldst come, Gwilwillethel. For centuries have I waited. I am Gwilwillethel. You are here because twice every millennia, since the blossoming of creation, an evil has stirred in these woods. But when the real fight came, I fought alone. All the townsmen too cowardly to accompany me, all their bravery wilting in the face of true evil. So I left them to their hunts and their competitions and made the journey myself. I knew it might mean my life. And now their descendants have forgotten my sacrifice and our name, and they will forget thy sacrifice as well. Are you yet willing to save them?"
Oh, yeah.
And she says, "Go then to that wood." The mist gets thinner, wispier, and then is gone. You look at the trail leading into the wood, where the trees are denser than they are here, and you follow the trail. And we will pick it up there next session. All right. Are we ready for story time?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. As you keep following the path, it becomes clearer and clearer that the trees that you're headed for are more like a wall, a couple 100 feet across. A straight row of trees that are growing no more than a foot away from each other. There is one opening in this wall of trees, like a doorway. You have obviously arrived at the deep forest maze that Gwilwillethel told you about. You remember the warning she gave you that all the horrors of this forest would manifest to torment you. You see something orange on the ground. 2 of them, actually. And they appear to be buckets, but not like any buckets you're familiar with. They're made of a translucent material you've never seen before, and they're obviously supposed to look like jack-o'-lanterns. But they're open at the top. They're buckets, jack-o'-lantern buckets. But now you got your costumes, and you got your trick-or-treat buckets. You ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. As you turn the corner, you see two snarling werewolves. Okay, that fireball hit him, and he just turned into ash and little werewolf bits all over the place. Okay? You guys have successfully defeated two werewolves. Oh, I took them before you could search the bodies, but I assume you want to search the one body and what's left of the body. So why don't you search the body that's intact? And Noggle Noggins, you can go picking through the werewolf bits and ash and see if anything survived, okay? So, let's see here.
I got a fun-size Three Musketeers.
Ooh, those are good.
Fun-size Butterfinger.
Uh-huh.
A small box of raisins.
Aw, don't you hate it when people give raisins? What a boring Halloween treat.
Large Tootsie Roll, mini Hershey's milk chocolate,
Uh-huh.
and a full-size Snickers bar.
Oh. You look up and you see there's these two big bats up above.
Oh dear.
They fly overhead, over your head. They land in front of you, transforming into vampires. The undead creature stares into your eyes, and your eyes are locked.
Uh-oh.
You cannot look away no matter how you try. She waves her hand, and you are hypnotized, unable to act. And I'll go ahead and tell you for one turn.
Okay.
She walks slowly up to you as you stare her in the eyes and can do nothing whatever. She bares her fangs, buries them into your neck,
Oh dear.
and drains half of your HP. As you round the corner, you see two mummies,
Oh dear.
undead protectors of ancient crypts with unnatural strength. He charges up to you. He grabs you. He holds you close. The smell of decay is nauseating. He opens his mouth, and a swarm of tarantula spiders comes out of his mouth, spewing out all over you. And then he steps away. And he opens his mouth and spews centipedes out all over you. These bugs obviously live in these mummies. They crawl all over you, biting and stinging, and do 5 points of damage to you, bringing you down to 10 by my count.
Yes.
And as you are getting them all off of you, they scatter and disappear into the woods.
I'm going to need a shower after this.
I know, right? Okay, that is a dead, bareheaded mummy. And when
With
he
an arrow sticking out of his head.
right,
Whoa.
when he fell over and hit the ground, his chest split open, and more of those centipedes went running out and disappeared into the forest.
Yes.
So,
Large Tootsie Roll, fun-sized peanut butter Snickers, and this mini Mr. Good Bar.
yeah.
Okay. Well, religious
Pamphlet.
warning of the dangers of having
Uh-huh.
small packets of 6 words of mini crack.
Yep, so that's good. Eventually, you round the corner and you see a long corridor of trees with bright light at the end. You follow it and emerge into sunlight again. You have survived the maze of horrors.
Congratulations.
You are at the edge of a clearing like the one you were in at the beginning of the maze. And there's a traveling merchant pulling a cart. And he's looking at you. Here now, what's the likes of you doing in this place? But I got potions and the like if you wants to buy. Trade would be better. What you got in them buckets?
We have candy that we've collected from these monsters that we've slain.
So, maybe you should hand him the buckets.
Here's my bucket.
So he looks in them, and then he looks at you warily, and he says, I think that place got to you. This ain't no candy.
Oh,
There's
no.
jewels in there. Alls I see is rubies and emeralds and all manner of gems.
Ooh.
She warned you that you would begin losing your mind in this place. All right. After your business is transacted, he warns you to leave. This place is evil, and you're headed into the worst of it. That way lie the mist and madness. You should leave this place and find your way home like I'm doing. And then he goes on his way, singing again. You take in your surroundings. This field is indeed surrounded by trees like the last one, but at the other side isn't a wall of trees. It's a wall of fog. A thick white mist, like a massive white cloud that envelops the trees past their tops. But that's where the path leads. So you follow the path. And we will continue next week. All right. Are we ready for story time?
We are.
We ready to find out how this whole thing ends?
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, you follow the path from the forest maze across the open field toward the wall of fog. So, you enter the mist. Somewhere not far away, you hear a scream. And it gets loud, like it's far away, but it's getting louder and louder, like someone falling from a great height. Then, sure enough, just when it gets really loud, the scream abruptly stops. And you clearly hear a meaty thud
Yep.
very nearby. From right in front of you, droplets of blood and bits of gore splatter the front of you. Your clothes, hair, and face all get some.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh. God, what was that?
Out from the mist reaches a small, delicate hand and takes yours. It is a young girl in a pretty dress that's covered in blood. Her head is missing.
Oh, dear.
Blood is still trickling from the neck stump. She gently tries to pull you away as if there's something she wants to show you.
So I guess we just keep walking.
You see someone coming,
Oh dear.
and someone behind them,
Oh.
and another, and another. It's a long line of people. They appear to be people from every walk of life, every age and race. Elven fighters, dwarven lumbermen, human traders, even children and elder folk. Some have wounds. Some have horrible wounds or are missing body parts. All of them have ashen gray skin. Their faces wear a variety of expressions as they file past you. Fear, terror, anger, pain. A few of them even have their eyes closed. The procession is completely silent. You can't even hear their footsteps. So you walk along, and you come to something impossible. It's not exactly your first today, is it? You stand there and you are looking at 3 large holes in the mist. Each hole of blackness has a feathery frame around as the mist wafts through this hole around the edges as if being gently sucked through and then dissipates as it enters the blackness. You step into the blackness. White mist covers the floor, but aside from that, it is totally black. There is mist on the floor, and it does seem to reflect up light so that you can see yourselves and you can see movement quite a ways away from you. And you see that it's 2 people coming toward you. And as they get closer, you recognize them. It's you. Both of you. But they're not in costume, by the way. They are wearing what you were wearing when you first came to the town. And then they draw their weapons and they charge you.
Oh dear.
Gwilwillithel has her scimitar up as she comes running. Nogglenoggins has his paralysis knife.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Everybody give me initiative. It is time for the Halloween campaign final boss battle. As your blade connects with Gwilwillithel, she shatters as if she were just a mirror with your reflection in it. The pieces float up and twinkle and sparkle into the void above. And then you are attacked from behind, taking 5 points of damage from evil Gwilwillithel.
Oh dear.
Okay. Your weapon connects with a splash, like a stone hitting the surface of water and disturbing a reflection in it, until his entire body turns into millions of droplets of liquid color that fall to the ground and disappear beneath the layer of mist. And then you feel a sharp pain in your back as evil Nogglenoggins attacks with his falcata and does you 6 points of damage, bringing you down to 6. You continue attacking, they continue attacking, you attack, they attack, you heal, they heal, you, them, and then everything begins dissolving, fading. The enemies begin to fade, and so does the mist on the ground. All of it dimming, color fading out of everything that you see. Even yourselves are fading grayer and grayer, darker and darker, until you are completely enveloped by the black void and nothing else. It is so dark that you can't even be sure if your eyes are open or closed. And then your eyes do open. And you see a whole world of color and light. You are in a room in an inn. It is the 1st of Neth. Halloween is over. You're back in your normal clothes, or out of them anyway, since you're in bed. You see your clothes laid over chairs near your beds, and no sign of your costumes. You throw the covers aside, you do, and jump up and look out the window, and you see that the town looks normal. You stand there and look at each other like, what just happened? Then those looks soften into the realization that it was all just a bad dream. Or was it? Congratulations, y'all. You completed the Halloween campaign.